What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit. Your name's not, but that's totally cool because we're both going to be enjoying a game of Age of Mythology here on this auspicious of occasions in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the aptly terrifying, the very unbeatable, the ultimate of the Chinese faction in some people's minds. Not everyone's. He's standing with a little gold yin and yang token here saying, Hua. You know, like he's got John Wick on his team, but you know, he's more Neo-esque or Morpheus type things here. He's playing Fushi. And it is Keto, Jody, Severo, Bones, Jones, the 22nd. His opponent today in the red color is your friend in mine, a man who really needs no introduction, but I'm going to try and give him one. He plays Age of Mythology in his spare time. He's a very soft-spoken individual with big opinions. His name is IamMagic, and he's playing as Poseidon. We're on the map Ghost Lake, and we're going to see a game here. In the left-hand corner of the map, we've got Adamantine Shingles, plus 200% of the house hit points over here. And next, we've got Cathara of Apollo. Meanwhile, over on this side, there's Hecate's Torch. And finally, Archimedes' Ledger. What a time to be alive. Can I school this on King AOM? What do you mean? I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Are we talking about... house relics? I'm confused. This one. Well, what this relic does is it gives you double the HP. A story time? Oh, you want that? It was on this map, actually. You want the story time? Okay. Once upon a time, in a galaxy far, far away, Star Wars. The world was at ends with each other. Everyone was trying to take down the Empire. And in this case, the Empire was a man who labeled himself the king of AOM King. He was dominating the ISIS players. He was dominating the Set players. He was dominating the Thor players. Everybody who thought their god was strong and they were good at a game of Age Mythology were getting owned, so to speak. AOM King was the man to beat. He had one challenger who took the almost impossible task of beating Zeus with the most awful of gods. And that was KRT Phil. KRT Phil was the man who was instilled with the impossible task of beating Zeus. They spawned in on a map quite like this. It was Ghost Lake in the original game. They spawned in on a map quite like this with Archimedes' Ledger. It was not called not Archimedes' Ledger, Adamantine Shingles. They spawned in with this relic. And it was the 20th time, the 20th game that these two players had played. The score was 19-0. AOM King, and this is Magic here, he's playing as Poseidon, but AOM King, 19-0. KRT Phil said, not this time. He picks up Adamantine Shingles. He takes it into his temple. He places it there. He builds houses. The hoplites come as they came every single game, only to be greeted with unkillable houses. KRT Phil held the Athena Rush. KRT Phil held the Bronze. KRT Phil survived the overpowered Lightning Storm. KRT Phil won the game. It's a real rags to riches story for KRT Phil. From that moment onwards, he was known as the guy who would never lose 20 times to anybody. All he needed was a cheeky little Adamantine Shingles relic. So, for those of you out there, pick up the relic. It's really good. That's 200% extra hit points on your houses. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I do really emphasize the fact that he did lose 19 times before this. So it could be conceived that potentially Mr. AOM King was feeling a little bit sorry for KRT Phil and said, you know what, we're just going to give you a win here. Maybe. I don't want to... Oh, Centaur Snipe. Nice play there for Keto. That could have been what happened. I don't know. Anyways. Chilling in the main base, chilling. Well, actually, kind of making things a little bit not so chill. A little bit hot and sweaty. Bit of a sauna here. I must say, this guy does look pretty bloody sick. Look at him. Look at how sick this guy looks. As Magic streaming in to the main base. Going to be sniping that Pioneer here as Keto runs for the tower. He gets out of there. Magic too scared of the towers here to run in and try and get any more damage done. Like, the towers realistically, in the early game, if you got no units there, and you got a bunch of hippies, let's call it 3, don't really do a whole lot. I could very easily just run straight past here, get over here, snipe a villager, get out, keep myself alive, and with Poseidon especially, you can get that HP back in. It's slow, but 0.5 hit points a second, it'll go back up to full HP at some point. There's Magic. Oh, a little snipe on a cheeky villager over here is Keto now starting to build up those halberdier. Now the question here is, does Fushi have the same problem which other gods do? Specifically, let's say Egyptian, going for a classical fight. Again, holy micro! Keto says, excuse me, Magic, we're not going to be having any problems with this today, as he's coming over now, going to start smacking down onto this position, retreating back with his Deuterinos as Magic loses a Hippias, but he will be out of here now. Hendrika, arigato gozaimasu. Konbancha. I appreciate you, my friend. Wooden Gate getting smacked down. Keto. He's in. Look at him go. He says, get out of here. Oh, no. And now the villager is down. Magic is in. No, but then he retreats. He says, I'm in, but I'm out. As he's going to kill off another wall, trying to break through onto this position. Very scared of this town center. Rightfully so. It does hit pretty hard. And Keto now has himself crenellations. Keto now has himself crenellations, so he will be able to get some damage done. But look at this from Magic. He is diving, dodging, dipping, ducking, diving as he charges in to try and take out a whole bunch of these villagers here. Only a handful of halberdier for the time being, as the heroes are in as well to get even more damage done, but a huge amount of Hippias losses while this is all going down. However, a Quaofu gets sniped as well. Huge villager losses there for Keto. Magic has managed to equalize here as he is to retreat out of this base and start thinking about where to go next. This second town center has been hurt, and now Magic can decide, I've got a military advantage now. My economy is equal. I can go for a town center. I can go for a tech switch. I can go for just random tech upgrades if I want to. I can go for a heroic age here. Maybe go through Dionysus and get a big push onto this gold mine with bronze. That's a great idea too. On the other hand here, Keto does have himself the Peach Blossom Spring. He's got himself this gold and this gold, so he probably doesn't need to hold onto it for gold for later. But what he really needs, first and foremost, most of all in this game, is a hefty amount of halberdier. And funnily enough, had he read what Magic was doing a little bit better, he probably could have jumped onto this maybe about 3 minutes earlier when it was about at 1,000 food, started to grab it, and pumped out those halberdier and survived on this position potentially. I'm not 100% sure, but it probably would have been a good idea. As the Quaofu coming through, we've got that machine workshop up just in case he wants to make some fire art just to deal with any sort of hoplites coming in. What was this guy? This guy's a Quaofu. Look at him go. He's got a big rock. I think that's what you're talking about. Do you guys like me zooming in like this, by the way? Like, I'm really starting to enjoy getting up close and personal with these hippies. You know what I mean? Like these units, they're very pretty. Gives us the horse pop. Good. All right, fantastic. We're gonna keep doing it. That's Keto. Wow. That's some Age of Empires 2 skills there. He's opening up his wood line, but continuing to block it off there as the temple starting to get taken out. But given the building positioning that Keto's got, he's going to have a lot of trouble getting out there to defend that. As the relics drop, Cathara of Apollo and Archimedes Ledger, the relics drop, walls coming back up here. Hippias to retreat back. A whole bunch of Toxotes now as well. I'm a big fan of this, to be honest. I genuinely don't think that classical age Toxotes are that bad. They're obviously not cracked like the ballistics archers are. Ballistics archers are really, really good. But the idea that you can't build classical age Toxotes, or classical age archers in general, I don't subscribe. I don't subscribe to this thought process. As we're going to see here already, little bits of damage getting done as the units retreat back. The wooden wall over here going down. A villager sniped there with those Toxotes, already starting to get some value. As now Keto's town center going to be under attack. The Toxotes, yet again, getting damage done as the halberdiers, excuse me, charging through. We've got the terracotta riders out as well as Magic dodging back away here. He's going to have to pull back out of the base. This was a very, very nice defense so far from Keto. The Magic is back in here, sniping villagers down left, right, and center. Great defensive maneuvering with those hippias as now the Toxotes to come through are going to be sniping the Dejar and the town center for Keto to go down. Meanwhile, on this right-hand side, we see Vanish to come through, trying to keep those villagers alive. Another villager popping out, but will end up falling here as Magic can clean up the rest of this situation here as well. Very, very nice play from Magic as he's managed to not only equalize... I mean, the villager differential is still in favor of Keto for the time being, but Magic is equalized very much so. Keto's in the heroic age right now. But he only has himself forest protection. There's nothing huge for him to actually utilize in this situation. As a bow later come down, there's no gold left in the main base here for Keto. He's in a lot of trouble now, as Magic says, town center time. And I wouldn't be surprised to see, as the armor comes up, a heroic age here. As now Magic, he's going to go through Aphrodite. Makes a lot of sense to get a little bit more of an aggressive god power. He does have a full army though, so bronze would definitely be very strong. But I don't think there's really ever a bad time to go Aphrodite. So it's always going to be like I'm good to set up for a little bit later type affair. As Magic sees the ballet, very scared to approach this, especially with forest protection, just going to be able to get dropped down in a heartbeat. But for the moment here, Magic's got full control of all the gold mines, but he's going to be allowing Keto over onto this position fairly shortly if Keto wants to go there. This Keto's White Horse Cavalry popping out onto the map, getting some jabs as Magic says, "Excuse me, we're not going to be having a fight here. No, sir. I refuse." Upgrades to come through. Lots of units in the queue as well as these villagers on this wood line are incredibly out of position. A Qualfu going to get sort of pushed into the line of fire as we do see the forest protection getting dropped down. Villagers on the back here. Not villagers. Toxotes on the back here. Not needing to do a whole lot. Great positioning at the start of the fight there for Magic. Curse gets dropped down. The army of Keto getting annihilated yet again now as Magic can push forward, and all he's got to do is target down the ballet, and he can take this game very simply, but he does not need to. Keto says, all right, GG, well played. You got me on this one with that aggressive Poseidon. This is a Magic you don't get to see very often. This is a Magic that I love to watch. This is the type of Magic that I think he loves to be as well on the offense, with all of the ability to make decisions rather than just having to sit back and let the game sort of occur. I really like watching this. I hope we get to see more of this from Magic. This is an incredibly well played game from him. Great decision making, hits everything, great random attacks underneath the base and all the other good stuff, and solid execution. Keto, on the other hand, I think he really did just need those halberdier numbers out faster, and probably just needed to get onto the Peach Blossom Spring that little bit faster to get that food in order to defend against those hippies. But yeah, he couldn't really like know what's going on. But in hindsight, that would be your sort of way through a little bit. Whether or not you can defend is all about execution, but at least you have the units out. Nonetheless, if you guys enjoyed this one, please consider to follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next game.